Welcome back, guys, to Foxtrot Outdoor Adventures 207. I'm Travis. Mike is not with me tonight. I just wanted to take a moment and give you a little bit of a brief rundown on our next episode and what to expect. So we keep talking about what we call a Blue Eddy. For those of you that don't know what a Blue Eddy is, it is basically a battery pack, a big, large battery pack that acts as a generator. Completely quiet, perfect for outdoor camping, especially off-grid. You don't have to worry about carrying a bunch of gas around with you. You can use solar panels to charge them. And that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to watch Mike as he builds basically a solar array. He's going to mount them all onto a couple of pallets, put it on a whole hinge system, wire it all up. It's going to be really easy to keep this Blue Eddy charged while we're up in the North Maine woods doing our filming and just camping in general, hunting, fishing, the whole 9 yards. So as he's talking about Blue Eddy, just understand that he's talking about a solar powered electric generator, and that's what we're trying to build today. So welcome back, and let's switch on over to Mike.
What's up, dudes? Mikey with Foxtrot Outdoor Adventures. Today I'm going to make a solar array setup going with that camper that Travis and I are working on refurbishing. Basically, I've got 300 watts of panels that I want to put together on a pallet system so it's a little bit easier to move. I just got these from Amazon, TSP 100s. I have no idea how these are going to work. They may be complete garbage, they may be awesome. Basically, the problem that we're running into is that I bought a bunch of these panels for my Blue Eddy, but they can't tolerate any rain, weather, snow, and that just happens to be when I like to go camping, especially during deer season. So got some all-weather panels. I'm gonna wire them in. My goal is to just reduce the amount of generator use that we've got. I'm not looking to be, completely solar dependent or anything like that with my camper. But let's get into this. All right, so this is basically the gear that we have to work with. Had to go out and buy a new drill today. Half my stuff is still in Texas. I'm in the process of moving, but not to worry, my wife won't watch this video anyways. Some hardware, some drill bits, screw bits to go with said drill. The cables to link my 3 panels in series. Each panel is 16 volts, I think, on average. And my Blue Eddy can tolerate from 20 to 120 or 150 volts. So linking those 3 in series with the cable should be just fine. This is XT60 cable, gloves, voltmeter, tape measure, various screws I'm going to use to anchor things down. These are the hinges that I'm going to use. Really, I'm not looking to make this truly adjustable, although we'll have a kickstand. I'm looking to more or less have it be something that I can store and lay flat so it's easier to move, because solar panels, especially when you're not really in a fixed place, can be kind of cumbersome to keep moving. And then I've got another smaller pair of hinges that'll go on basically a kickstand apparatus. We'll get it all lined up, get it all laid out, and then put together. I had to pick the only day this week that we're supposed to get rain to do this video, but we'll see what I can pull for wattage on my Blue Eddy. Okay, so these pallets are gonna make up the base. I got 2 of them and I stole from Travis's house. Basically, I'm gonna put hinges on the ends here. That way they can fold down flush with one another for easy storage in the back of my truck. And then also be able to sit up at the correct angle to hopefully maximize my solar input. We typically do all of our deer hunting in the November time frame, so our wattage in is actually pretty low. It's around 50 to 100, even with 400 watts of panels. At least that's what we got last year. This I'm going to hope to set up on top of the camper, get it up above the tree line, get a little bit more direct sunlight, and see if I can pump my wattage up. With the current system that we're running in our Blue Eddy, we really only need about 1800 watts a day for the full 24 hours. So if we can keep between this solar setup and then the 400 volt panel between the 2 Blue Eddys, should be able to go at least a couple 3 days without having to run the generator, which is the ultimate goal of all of this. So I'll show you guys what it looks like once I get the hinges together and what the setup's going to look like from there. And then we'll load some panels on, get it wired, and see what she can do. Oh yeah, don't mind the mess. Like I said, I'm in the process of moving. All right. 53 inches. Weird measurement, but whatever. I need to cheat these in a little inch and a half each side. By the way, I am by no means a professional. In fact, I'm winging this. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, this bottom board is about 3.5 inches wider than the top pallet that I'm using. So I'm going to put the wider base down on this one and the narrow base on the other one. Spread the low around, and this actually fits kind of perfect. Let me make sure these are the same width. Okay. Just about 4 feet there. Should be about there. Yeah. So now the towel's just a touch smaller, but it actually kind of works out good. So do that. They should lay flat for me, and I'll be able to keep these just like this. I'm the epitome of winging it when it comes to most building projects. Like I said, I don't do construction work or really build things for a living. So don't take anything I'm saying as gospel of how to build a project. This is just a way, and I hope it works. Hardest part's going to be getting this top one on and screwing everything together. That's going to be the hardest part. I'll have to use more boxes and brace it up, I guess, because it's just me here today. 1.25 inches. About 1.25 inches. Okay. Alright. I'm going to get these screwed on. I'll see you guys in a minute. Fingers crossed the board doesn't split. The nails in this thing are really staggered, so I'm having to pick and choose where I'm drilling. say, Ryobi, not the best. Has absolutely zero torque. But all my other drill stuff is down in Texas still. So, it is what it is. Yeah, short of hanging up pictures, I don't really think this drill's going to have much more use after this project. Drill that ain't going to last this project either. Yeah. Having to use my truck as a workbench. And I don't care if this thing fully opens. More so as I just want it to be able to close and then angle up to the correct degree. Alright, one side done. Yeah, it might be a little crooked. It'll buff, I think. right, moment of truth. Does it fold? Moment about the truth. Okay, we're not gonna do that. Okay. Oh, don't hit my garage door. Yes, indeed. All right. Cool. Phase 1 of the build done. Now I just gotta mount some solar panels. See how it works. Make a kickstand. All right, so here's kind of what we have to work with. I have 4 panels total. I think I said 3 earlier. Actually, I have 4 panels. They're gonna lay horizontal like this, 2 more just like this. I'm going to put, each panel is going to get 2 screws that are going to sit in these keyholes that are right there. And then I'm going to use support screws on the top and bottom, just to give them a little bit more strength. Once I get all these panels hooked up, I'm going to wire them in series. I just double checked. These are 17.2 max 20 for voltage, or 20.5 for voltage. And my Blue Eddy can handle up to 150 volts of solar input. So even this, even with cooler temperatures, and then a little bit from, a little bit of loss from the cable length, I'll be right kind of in the middle of the operational range for my Blue Eddy. So shouldn't have any voltage issues there. And I'm hoping with a 4 panel as opposed to the 1 panel array that I get a little bit better solar capture. I was having all sorts of trouble with my solar panel last year, so that's why we're starting from scratch with this all-weather setup, and we're going to repurpose our old solar panel for the little Blue Eddy and then daisy chain the 2 Blue Eddies together. That doesn't sound the safest, but I'm sure it'll work just fine. I don't know who let me around the power tools. I think that'll work. I just realized the other screws that I got to actually sit in the little keyhole recesses, they're too big. So improvise. I don't have a good angle to show you this, but I'm feeding the solar cables down through before I actually pop this into place. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a hell of a time getting them situated afterwards. Okay. Now. Oh, come on, miserable bastard. Get in there. Travis, I have a feeling you have a lot of editing to do with this one, bud. Okay. Drop in. Slide forward and sit. You son of a bitch. Where's the friggin' bee again? This is what happens when you just wing it, folks. This is what happens when you just wing it. If I did that. It's gonna open that way. Alright dudes, calling it up. Instead of trying to get the wrong size screw into the little keyhole, I'm just gonna use the natural edge that's right here to have these things hold themselves with weight, and then I'm gonna get a couple of screws with washers on them to keep them pinned to the board. That way I'll be able to remove these for transit, so I can transit these safely so I don't get covered in dust and grime from the Golden Road, and also I can take them off to do maintenance too. So I think I'm gonna go this route. Okay, so I've put some gaps between these. The middle one's not so much, but between the top, so I can put washers and actually anchor it in place. Now I'm just going to do some hanger screws for these bottom two panels, then screw the top ones in place and feed the wires through. So far I've only almost dropped this a few times. Totally OSHA approved. Totally OSHA approved. Oh, and yeah, that's my crossbow there. I should probably move that. Like I said, I'm in the middle of moving, guys. Hopefully that worked. All my other panels are snug except for this one. What gives? That one's up too high. It might work. It might just work. I had to slide this top panel over a little bit so it would actually like kind of sit firm. And I got too short of screws, which is, you know, the key to success with these projects. But seems to be holding. I think I'm going to put maybe an additional screw or two down here keep this pinned up, and I think that should be good. I hope. A little sketchy, but it works. That right there is right about 45 degrees. And 45 degrees is about the minimum that I'm going to want for maximum sun exposure. So if I screw it here and I do a few other steps along the way, then we'll be able to make like 5-degree incremental changes to kind of optimize what we're getting for solar. Now these are kind of loosely fitted in place, and I'll be honest, it's a little sketchy, but it's not going to really be exposed to high winds, and it's, you know, it's in there enough to where, you know, I can shake it around a little bit and it's not going anywhere. Now, here's probably the hardest part of this whole thing, is keeping this upright so I can get the hinge on it. I'm going to put an extra block down just as a kind of a safety wedge here. And you know, I'm going to get a couple more pieces of boarding to put in. Not sketchy at all. That was almost really bad. Yep. Put that back. Alright, good proof of concept. And I got this already. Alright, so apart from almost dropping it, this is why you don't use stacked storage containers as a work surface. Seems to be working okay. Goes up and goes down. All I have to do now is hook up the series connection and then run the wire and I should be good. This came out quite a bit heavier than I thought, so I'm going to have to wait for someone to give me a hand to actually move it out in the sun to test it. But I think it's going to work out pretty alright. Okay, so I took these basically 4 ways and connect them in. That way I have everything down into a series connection. This cutout should be enough space for the wires to kind of just sit freely there without getting pinched while it's in transit. The little kickstand, I actually don't have it working right now. With that in place, it holds me at like 43 degrees. Which is pretty close to where I want. What I'll end up doing is putting a couple nails or screws here and here, and that'll probably give me about an extra 5 degrees each, so I can really tone it in to see what I'm getting. Now I'm going to lay this down flat, hook up the connection, and see what I'm getting for voltage out of this. It'll be next to nothing because I'm in my garage, or the voltage should be okay, but you know, I'm not an electrician, dude. Okay, so wiring's in. I've got, I don't know if that'll show up on the camera or not, but basically we got about 41 degrees, 52 or 53 degrees, and this is like 55 to 58. That being said, I'm not on a complete level surface, and I'm using my iPhone to use as a level, which if you've ever tried using that, it's an approximation at best. Well, the panels look good. I just want to hook it up, see what the voltage is like. And then the next step will be getting it in the sun and see how she runs.